Welcome back to 30 Days of Ableton Push. I'm Josh Spoon, and today we're going to be talking more about drum editing. We're going to talk about nudge, changing the velocity, and lengthening your notes, all inside of Push. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about Quantize. So let's get started. So looking at our beat from yesterday, we recorded a tom hit, and though we like the tom hit, let's say that we just kind of want to massage a little bit, move it around. Maybe move it over and make the tom hits a little bit longer. We could re-record it or put it back in using the sequencer, but an easier thing to do is to use nudge. So we'll solo our cell, and we'll select our cells so it shows up on the sequencer. So let's say we want to move both of these tom hits. I'll hit select and then the tom to select it. Then I'll have nudge, note length, and velocity. If we nudge it, it gives us the ability to move both of them at the same time and give you a fine detail on your sound. So we slid them back a little bit, but let's check how the length works. I actually like the way it was, so I'm just going to do an undo. I think that's where it was. So I'm going to select it again. So you can change the velocity of both, or you can individually change the notes on the sequencer. I really enjoy this feature. It allows you to massage your sound and manipulate it in a way that really expresses what you're trying to do with your drums. And also it's all possible on the push. You don't have to go to your mouse and start clicking and dragging. You can just nudge it, change the velocity and the length right there. Definitely play with this to try to get your beat to sit right. Next, I'm going to walk you through how to quantize either your individual notes or your whole beat. It's kind of tricky at first, but if you follow this process, you'll have it down. So if you hold down Quantize, you get a couple of options here. You swing Quantize to the grid, Quantize amount, and your record Quantize. The best way to go about this is to set your Quantize amount and then hit Quantize so that you will have the exact quantization that you want. Let's quickly quantize this whole section. We're going to set this to a 16th Quantize amount and 100% with no swing. Now we've just quantized to the 16th grid and it's extremely rigid. So I'll undo this. Now let's add in some swing. So let's try a different swing since that's not swinging. All right, there we go. Every day I'm shuffling. We'll undo again here. Now let's do individual notes. I think these hats would be good. So we're just going to solo the hats and select them. Then we'll set up our Quantize. Try 16 triplets, the 78 swing, and 100% Quantize. So I'm going to hold that cell and then hit Quantize. got a nice little swing there. So I wanted to let you know that the Quantize is a destructive editing, where that if you make any changes, you can undo them. But once you save the project, there's no undos. So whatever swing and quantization you've put on your drums, they're just set. If you use the groove pool allows you to test out different grooves and be able to take them off whenever you want. You could save the grooves, but I would say both things have pros and cons. The con doing it this way is that when you save, it's locked. The con for the groove pool is that you can't use individual grooves, not unless you were to take each individual cell and put it on a separate track, which takes a lot of work. So there's pros and cons to everything. I suggest that you play around with both of them and see which one works for you. Maybe staying on the push and doing everything that way works for you. Maybe the groove works for you. Maybe a little bit of both. So try those out. Once again, this is Josh Spoon, 30 Days of Ableton Push, and I'll see you tomorrow.